Yo, what is up, webheads? Today we got the episode you've probably all been waiting for. The movie we've been waiting for like ever since when it was first announced. Uh Actually maybe 2 years ago, back when Far From Home came out. That's right. This week we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home, the latest and dare I say greatest MCU movie. Well, I don't think it's the greatest. I think
It's
I think
a very big debate at the moment.
I think it's up there though in terms of like my enjoyment towards the MCU. I really like it. I really like it in terms of a Spider-Man movie. Yeah, so I'm just excited to talk about it. If you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. We'll do like a spoiler-free thing the first half of the video, and that way everyone can enjoy a little bit of what we have to say.
Yeah. I mean, definitely there is a lot to talk about in this movie,
Yeah,
but I
uh,
mean,
it,
without spoiling it, there really
it's
much isn't you can say apart from you're gonna love it.
yeah. If you're a Spider-Man fan, or I don't know, uh, yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it. If you like Spider-Man, you're probably gonna like this movie. Um, I have heard some debates, still, but the majority of people enjoy it. So
Yeah,
that's
the
that's good.
consensus is that people are really liking this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, the hype was there when people were buying tickets, and without saying much, I mean, the hype was delivered. They
Yeah.
definitely did deliver
Look,
everything that you expected and more.
look, guys. I was expecting to be really disappointed, if I'm being honest. Um, I was just like, there's no way this movie's gonna live up to like everything they're trying to throw into the movie, based on rumors, based on leaks. They're like, oh, this character's in it, this character's in it, this character's in it, this character's in it. I was like, there's no way they're gonna pull it off. But I'm surprised. I guess if you expect disappointment, you can never really be disappointed. That's a quote from the movie.
Yeah,
Um,
Zendaya says that a couple
yeah,
times in the
yeah,
movie.
Zendaya, she's in the movie too. Um, but yeah, I was not disappointed. I was entertained. I was enjoying it. The theater was like roaring,
Insane.
cheering, crying, pissing
The
their
theater
pants.
experiences. Yeah.
They were
The
like
the-
coming maybe. I don't know.
okay. So that's
I had to
yeah, no, the theater experience was amazing. I mean, it's not only this movie, but also with like Infinity War, with like
yeah.
Endgame, those big movies like that, the theater experiences are always going to be great. And like some people might hate that stuff. Those the clapping, the cheering, the screaming, and these big movie premiere nights. But
Yeah.
you gotta admit, sometimes it could be a lot of
Um
fun.
yeah, no, I hate that sometimes, like especially like I remember when Star Wars, I don't remember which one, but when Star Wars, one of the Star Wars came out, people were cheering for fucking like C3PO and R2D2. I was like, bro, those are just robots. They're not even like the cooler characters. But like they cheered over like the dialogue of what they said. Like their one line in that movie you can't hear because people were
And
like,
Rogue
yeah,
One.
yeah, let's go. And I was like, dude, you didn't even get to hear him. But in this movie, it was, and there was some guy that like got up and stood like directly like in the way of like my middle of the screen, basically my perspective. So that was a little bit annoying, but other than that, it was a really cool experience. Like this movie, like you're gonna be cheering like every fucking like 5 minutes, pretty much.
Yeah, and it's not only the big parts of the movie, but like the performances in this movie, which is amazing. Especially Tom Holland. Tom Holland did an amazing
Yeah,
job in this movie.
yeah.
Like he basically, I like, in my mind, he got all like what we said before about the Iron Boy Jr. comments. Like he got all those comments and all the comments to say that he can't act and anything. He like put those away. He like
Yeah,
he
guys.
proved himself
That's
completely.
one thing I do want to say. Like if you're not a fan of Tom Holland's Spider-Man, um, I get it. I fucking hate Far From Home, like uh like what they did to Peter in that movie. I don't like how he's so reliant on like the Stark tech and stuff like that. But in this movie, he feels like Spider-Man. Or at least, at the end, he feels like fucking super accurate like Spider-Man. and I'm super excited. I love this movie because they fixed him. You know what I mean? Like he was good. Like he's good Spider-Man. Whatever. They're all good Spider-Man. But this movie was like, okay, let's make him actually good. Let's listen to the stuff, the negative stuff that people have been saying. Let's make him feel like Spider-Man. And also, one thing I wanted to say, this movie kind of is like a soft reboot of MCU Spider-Man. Um, it it's still like, you know, MCU. It's still Sony and Disney, but it feels like a soft reboot at the end because they're just like wiping everything clean basically. But we'll talk about that more when we talk about spoilers. But yeah.
I can see what you're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, with this movie, definitely by the end of it, without spoiling anything in the
Yeah.
beginning, by the end of it, you can really tell that he's gonna be a completely different Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing. And I mean,
Yeah.
amazing.
If you guys are familiar with the PS4 game, um, I don't want to spoil. Like I said, I'm trying my best not to spoil. But at the end of this movie, Peter Parker feel like Tom Holland's Peter Parker feels like the game Spider-Man. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, he I mean, in the game, he's definitely more grown up and everything.
yeah.
And he's like, he is more experienced, and yeah, you can definitely feel the same vibe,
Mm-hmm.
which I love because I love that game. And
Yeah.
I've played it twice or thrice. I don't know how many times, but yeah,
Yeah.
the game is great. And I really like the approach that they've made it by the end of the movie.
Yeah. So I guess now that we've hyped up the movie even more, I guess we should talk about the plot. Um, and if you guys have seen the trailer, you know what the hell this movie's about. So this movie takes place right after Far From Home. Peter's identity has been revealed as Spider-Man thanks to Mysterio, Jake Gyllenhaal. And yeah, just wacky shenanigans happen. Spider-Man's dealing with his new identity. Everybody hating him even more now. Or actually, I don't know if in this universe, I guess people never really like hated on Spider-Man that much. You know,
Well, in
no.
the beginning, they did. Everyone was hating on him. Remember? Because like, I mean, if you guys have seen it, we talked about it in the Far From Home episode, but they released the first minute of the movie.
No. I meant to say like did people ever hate Spider-Man before this, before the Mysterio
Oh,
thing?
like in the MCU? No, I don't
Yeah,
think so.
no, right? Yeah, because normally, you know, J. Jonah Jameson, he's always like Spider-Man is a menace, uh, crap like that. But in this movie, it happens mainly due to the Mysterio stuff. Like,
Yeah.
so, so that's nice. I mean, I like it when Spider-Man has to deal, like he has to figure out like how to do the right thing while dealing with a bunch of haters. So this movie's basically that at the beginning. Um
He needs to seek out for help with his identity crisis. I mean, this is all in the trailer, you know.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm careful about what I say so I don't accidentally spoil anything.
No,
Uh,
no, we're good. We're good. It's just like we know in the trailer he seeks out for help for Doctor Strange, you know, when he
yeah,
needs a spell to help everyone forget Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
right.
And Peter being Peter, he messes everything up
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Peter being a not so responsible Spider-Man messes everything up
Again.
again
To be
for the third
exact
time,
five times
five
there.
times.
Yeah, and of course with I mean, like I said, we seen it in the trailer. I mean, we
Hmm.
because he messed up the spell, all the other villains from the Sam Raimi universe, or not all of them, but the Sam Raimi universe
Yeah,
villains and the Mark Webb
the
villains.
villains people liked from the Sam Raimi movies,
Yeah,
and and the two
pretty
villain,
much.
I guess no, two out of the three villains from Andrew Garfield's universe.
Yeah.
Oh, four, I guess. He has four.
Yeah, they made their way into the Marvel universe and
Yeah.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. And like obviously they're out looking for blood, you know, they
Yeah.
want to kill Peter Parker, and then Peter
Yeah.
Parker's like, I don't know who you are, bro.
He's like, dude, like, yeah, like so the villains are like, you're not my Peter Parker. They're very confused. Um, but I gotta say, most of the villains, well, I guess not most of it. No, yeah, most of it, because it's like 3 out of the 5. 3 out of the 5 get some pretty good development. Like Alfred Molina, he's back as Dark Ock. He's really good in this. He gets a lot of moments to shine, especially later on in the movie. I don't want to say too much, obviously. Jamie Foxx, he returns as Electro. He also gets some nice moments towards the end. Um, and the star of the show, Willem Dafoe, Norman Osborn, just like he did in Raimi, steals the show in this again. Uh, Probably even more menacing now than he is in
Yeah, I
Spider-Man.
would say more menacing.
If anything, he's more brutal because like I mean at the end of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, like yeah, he fucking pushes Peter through a wall, drops a wall on him, whatever. Um, throws a bomb at Peter's face, whatever. In this one, he's like fucking doing like combos, doing ultimates, dude. Like you can't stop the man.
You know, in this movie, you can definitely feel that Norman is not normal. He is uh very very strong. You can feel like the strength that he has.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely it's very different to Sam Raimi's, because it's like in Sam Raimi's movies with the Green Goblin. I mean, yeah, you just see like Peter and him fighting, Toby and Willem Dafoe fighting, but it looks like a normal fight. And here you can definitely tell like how strong the Green
Yeah.
Goblin actually is, which
Uh
is an amazing take that they did.
they do a good job with like showcasing the weight and the strength that like they both have, like Spider-Man and Green Goblin.
Hmm.
Um which is one thing that's pretty nice, pretty refreshing in terms of the MCU, because sometimes I don't know, the combat is hit or miss. For me at least. But in this movie I liked it. I mean, like I said before that Peter feels like he does in the game. In this movie, they kind of borrow some moves from the game, which is pretty fucking sick if you play the game. Like especially some of the finishers in that game. Um, but yeah, Willem Dafoe, really good. Tom Holland, really good. Uh, Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange, also really good in this. Um,
Yeah, I don't think anyone had like a bad performance really.
yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, I mean the other like characters like Sandman, the Lizard, they do fine. But they're not really like as important as like some of the other villains. That's like the only thing negative I can say about the movie is that not every single villain got the spotlight like Norman and Doc Ock and
Yeah.
Electro, but it's whatever. I mean, it's just I can't complain that much about this movie because everything else is pretty insane, pretty crazy in a good way, obviously.
Yeah, definitely in a good way.
Mhm.
I mean, uh I was mentioning this, but right now the movie stands at a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Cool,
But that's the critics review. But the audience score is at a 99%.
cool, cool.
Tom Holland's trilogy is the only trilogy to get 90s on all three movies. Well, I mean, in all the movies, because
Yeah,
not necessarily a trilogy, because
yeah, but that's just fucking MCU movies. Most of the time they always get 90s because I feel like audiences are just like, yeah, cool MCU. You know what I
no,
mean?
no, no. It's not because it's MCU, dude.
I
This
dude,
movie
I
is
honestly,
amazing.
oh, okay, this movie, yeah, but like, I don't think Far From Home is like that good.
I
You
don't
know what
think
I mean?
any of the other trilogies in the MCU have a 90% on all movies. Like for sure,
Nah,
Thor doesn't. For sure,
nah.
Iron
Thor
Man
Thor
doesn't,
doesn't. Iron
and
Man
Captain America either does. He
Iron
doesn't
Man
have it
2
either.
sucks ass.
Yeah, I know. I know. The first Captain America
First
didn't
Captain
have an.
America, no, first Captain America doesn't.
I
But
don't. Who else
that
has a
was
trilogy?
that was
I don't think so.
first phase MCU before they like streamlined everything.
I don't think anyone else has a trilogy. Not yet, at least.
Guardians, but
Not
Guardians
yet.
Volume 2 has like an 84, I think.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Uh,
Like Tom Holland Spider Man is just it. It. Some people might argue it's the best trilogy out of all the
uh,
trilogies,
those
but
people are
I don't know
fucking
about that.
stupid. I'm gonna kick their ass. No, I'm kidding. Um,
I don't know about that
I
one,
I
but it is a really great trilogy in
I
general.
I think it's weird to me because most of the time a trilogy, it's like it does cool at the beginning, it does even better in the second one, and then the third one kind of falls flat. I know that happens with like some people might say, or I would say the original Star Wars trilogy. It starts really good, gets even better, and then just kind of drops the ball. Dark Knight starts out good, the second one is even better, and the third one's just like okay. But with this one, in my opinion, I think it goes from good to meh to really fucking good.
Yeah.
That's what I think about this trilogy. And if you liked Spider-Man Far From Home, I think you'll definitely like this. If you like Spider-Man Homecoming, you'll definitely like this. Um,
Yeah.
but
But
if
it's
you
still it's
if
not just because of the story. It's just that Spider-Man, like him in general, like Tom, like his performance throughout all these three movies, like it just got better and better and better.
yeah, and that's what I want to like. That's what I said. Like they fixed Spider-Man because I know I didn't say this that much in the Far From Home video, but uh like I mean I gave Far From Home a good review, but I don't think like it's in good standing in terms of like my ranking, just because I don't think it's that comic accurate to the character.
Because it's like you said in the episode, it's a good Marvel movie, but
It's a
not a good.
good, yeah, it's a good Marvel movie, but I don't think it's a good MCU movie. But in this fucking movie, I think it's a good move, like Spider-Man movie. Like
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know we mentioned all the villains, but also it's other characters like Ned and Zendaya, like
oh
I
yeah,
mean MJ. They still had like a great chemistry on screen. I mean, they
yeah,
actually felt important to the
that
story.
that's something I liked about this movie. They did, I mean, they have the usual like Marvel haha funny moments, like
Yeah,
Ned
of course.
Ned makes jokes or whatever. But Ned actually in this movie, I think he feels more fleshed out, more of a character because I guess small spoilers. The three of them are trying to get to college together,
Mhm.
so it's nice to see them, like be friends. Ned's kind of like a third wheel. Like they all want to room together in college. Ned does a thing that I think is super super like funny, super cute because that's something I do sometimes where like he sees a picture of like people and he's like that's us right there. And like when he's talking about colleges and stuff like that. So yeah, they feel better. They feel fresh, fleshed out. They feel like friends. Um, Especially Ned and MJ. Like they feel like they actually like each other. Whereas
Yeah.
in
It doesn't feel like much like, yeah, maybe Ned will third wheel sometimes, but
but it doesn't feel like
but Ned and
he's
MJ are actually friends,
yeah. It doesn't feel like it's awkward in any way, which I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously they both care a lot for Peter, so
Yeah.
it's like a really great trio of friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, what's your opinion on MJ throughout this trilogy?
I like her in No Way Home. Um, I think I don't know. She's been weird to me. I don't um I love Zendaya. I like Zendaya's performances. Um, but I don't know. I felt like she was kind of underused also because in the first one, um,
He's
she's
barely
she's
there.
she's barely in it. In the second one, I think her relationship with Peter comes out of nowhere. Like they both just like suddenly start liking each other after the first one. I feel like it should have been developed in the first one and then, finally um
Yeah, it kind of felt like
fleshed out.
just because her nickname is MJ, they kind of like they started doing it.
Yeah,
They kind of going out.
but in No Way Home, I guess Tom and Zendaya, they've dated more. Their chemistry is definitely like like crazy, obviously, because they're going out, which is a trend that happens with most of the Spider-Man actors. They end up dating their respective love interests. Um, but no, I think she's really good in this movie. Um, and her relationship with Tom Holland is really good in this movie too. Like I felt bad for them. I felt happy for them. When they were happy, I was happy. When they were sad, I was sad. So it's good, I think.
Yeah, they had a great performance.
Hmm.
And I mean, Tom and Zendaya, like I mean, everyone says they're dating. It's never been confirmed. They
Oh,
never went out to the light to say it,
sorry.
but I mean, everyone speculates, especially because there is a paparazzi photo. Which, by the way, let them have their privacy, man.
Yeah.
They caught him kissing, but like, I mean, good for them.
Fuck paparazzi, dude. That's why. That's
Yeah,
why. That's why Tobey Maguire hates everybody.
yeah.
That and his gambling addiction. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll never get over that video where he's trying to get out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you know what I'm talking about, yeah, you'll know.
Yeah. You
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 think it's
know
pretty
that
funny.
video.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He's trying, and someone is in his way.
Yeah.
But I think we need to talk about spoilers, bro.
Wait. Hold on. How much time do we got? What
We've
time are we
we've
at?
we've been talking for 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Okay. I think we can do like 10 more minutes, spoiler free.
Like what? What else can you mention
Oh,
without spoiling
okay.
anything?
So some of this, let's talk about the special effects because, for the most part, they're pretty good. Like the lizard,
They definitely
uh,
did better in these movies. I mean, this movie.
yeah, the lizard looks like the lizard. Sandman looks like Sandman. Um, yeah. The only problem I would say is that, for a lot of the movie, it's filmed at night and it's dark. Sometimes you can't see a lot of other things that are going on, but that's mainly just because these movies rely so much on CGI that you have to uh have the dark so that everything blends together. But other than that, I think everything looks pretty good. Um
I did tell Sebastian after we saw the movie that I think it would have been better if we actually like it was in daylight because a lot of movie was
mhm.
during the night. And but he said the same thing. Like
Yeah, it's
the
just
light
because
they
they
rely on
have
the CGI.
yeah, they have to it's easier for them to like to blend everything in the darkness because with that much CGI, if you try to make a scene like in the day, um it would look kind of like worse than it actually is. I think that's probably why I dislike a lot of the CGI in like the other two MCU Spider-Man movies because Spider-Man is shot during the day and he doesn't look as good as like Andrew during the day, you know? Maybe that's why. Maybe because he looks a little bit not like maybe because it's too bright that I can see, like all the little imperfections here and there.
I know. I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think it definitely helps with the night. I mean, I guess it does help a lot because
Mhm.
it did look a lot better. And also, I mean, they did have a more bigger budget.
Yeah.
I did Google it right now, and the budget for Far From Home was 160 million, and
And
for this one was 200 million.
yeah, and
So big
they've
increase there.
they've made a lot of money also. I mean, we mentioned it before that
They made the
uh
money back before the movie even came out.
yeah, because a lot of the like theaters nationwide were sold out on tickets, which is crazy. But I mean, it is fucking Spider-Man. I don't think you can say that about any other superhero, or
Mm.
at least like a standalone movie. Obviously, if it's like the Avengers, like sure it can sell out, but I don't think other movies would sell out. I don't think maybe Batman would sell out, but
Maybe, but I don't know.
Spider-Man is just different. He's a lot of people's favorite superhero.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a bunch of dudes' personality traits. You know what I mean? Like you're either into like cars, or you're into Star Wars, or you're into Spider-Man. Or sometimes like all three, or like two out of the three. That's just how it is.
yeah. There's a TikTok audio. I know you might not relate to it, but I know that I do. And it's like us guys, we only like three things: the girl that we like, Spider-Man, and Cristiano Ronaldo or
Oh
Messi.
yeah, I've seen that video, and I saw it with my girlfriend, and I was like, I like Messi. I think I know him. I like him.
Yeah, and I mean it's pretty accurate. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone knows me. I mean, I love Spider-Man. And for this movie, I went dressed in my costume,
Yeah.
my Spider-Man costume, and I had no shame. I wore
Nah,
it
I
with
mean
pride.
that's what people do in these movies. Like we saw so many Spider-Men there. Uh, we saw a dude was wearing Toby's symbiote suit.
Yeah.
He was pretty cool.
I
Uh,
saw the Far From Home suit. I saw that
yes,
one, and then I
I
saw
saw the
also
Iron
the Iron,
Spider one.
yeah, the Iron Spider.
Fuck that suit, guys. I hate it. I still
Yeah,
hate it.
I don't like it either. But
Sorry.
I mean,
Uh,
like I mentioned before, it did grow on me, but it doesn't look good on a costume.
yeah. Oh, I guess in order to avoid spoilers, a little bit more, I think the Sandman and the Lizard were kind of weird because they were like CGI the whole time. Like, like Sandman was just a dude in sand the whole movie. Is that a spoiler? Is it a spoiler? I don't know if it's a spoiler.
I guess it's not a spoiler. I mean, maybe a little bit, but it doesn't affect the story at
Yeah,
all.
I don't. It doesn't really affect the story, but I just found that weird that he was in sand the whole time. But
Yeah,
uh,
but
I guess they just couldn't get the
but
actors that much. Like,
no, I did Google it actually, and apparently it's because of Thomas Hayden Church. He looks completely different now.
oh really?
He has a lot of gray hair. I mean, like, and but it's like very stylish, and then like a
Oh,
mustache and a beard, and but it's like, very stylish type of hair. So he looks completely different to what he did in Spider-Man 3. Uh,
oh yeah. He has like
so
a.
that's why they kept him in sand.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it is his voice, like he's there,
No,
but
yeah,
like,
it's their
but it
voice.
would have been way too difficult to CGI his
Yeah,
mustache, his beard, his hair, completely differently change his head, which would, like,
yeah.
we know from other movies, like for example, the Justice League, when just they
Um,
tried to CGI just the mustache. Henry Cavill looks completely
yeah,
shit.
yeah. No, yeah, that makes sense. The lizard also staying the lizard does make sense also because he's the lizard. He's not,
Yeah.
Kurt Connors. I just thought it was weird for Sandman because in Raimi's movies he turns into a dude every now and then, you know. But I guess it makes sense that he has different hair. He's older now. I know that's something they did with Alfred Molina too. They de-aged him so that he looks
Yeah,
more like
which by
Spider-Man
the
2.
way, the DH in this movie was
I
really
Dude,
good.
I didn't even notice like my girl when Doc Ock popped up in that scene where he's like, "Hey Peter," my girlfriend was like, "He looks really good." And I was like, "Yeah, he does." And then I didn't even realize he was de-aged until I read like some trivia for the movie. So,
Jesus. Yeah, right now I'm reading the Alfred Molina is actually 68
oh shit.
years old, and Willem Dafoe is 66.
Which
And I mean, they look older in the
yeah,
movie,
yeah.
but they definitely don't look that old.
The only one that I kind of, felt like looked a little bit older was Willem, but only because like
Yeah.
you can just kind of tell that he's a little bit older.
Yeah,
Um
no, but they definitely did a great job with the
oh
de-aging.
yeah. And now that we're talking about Willem a little bit, just to just to avoid spoilers a little bit more, I want to keep, more people watching. Um Willem Dafoe only agreed to reprise his role as the Green Goblin on the condition that he still did stunts or like at least the majority of the stunts in this movie, just like how he did in Sam
Yeah.
Raimi's Spider-Man.
He didn't want to be just a cameo. Like he
Yeah,
wanted to be in the main action, which I
which
respect it.
yeah,
It's
I madly respect that. I love that because um I mean that's sort of the vibe I got. I got the opposite vibe with I guess Lizard and Sandman because I mean they're just voice roles for the most part, but I feel like Willem Dafoe like heard what they were doing and he was like, nah, dude, I want to be in the suit. I want to wear it. I want to punch Tom Holland in the face. I want to do everything. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really cool. That's dedication right there. I love Willem Dafoe.
Yeah, I remember I used we love the movies. Like, I mean, a couple days before the movie came out, I watched a lot of like interviews with Tom Holland, and he talked a lot about the fight that he had with the Green Goblin, and you could tell like the
Hmm.
dedication was there from Willem, and the dedication was there from Tom. Like they definitely wanted this movie to feel real. I mean, like we said, they did like a really great performance,
Hmm.
and Willem definitely steals the show.
Yeah.
it's it's I mean, he's basically the main villain.
Yeah. Yeah. And this Spider-Man movie has kept that track record of having really good villains. Uh, and it's no different here. But that's just because they got a villain from
Yeah,
A
I mean,
villain who's already a really good villain, and they were just like, yeah, let's bring him in here, and
yeah,
he does a great job.
I mean the Green Goblin is, a lot of people will say that it's pretty much like Spider-Man's like best villain. And I
Oh
mean,
no, yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like they'll say either like that one or the Doc Ock, which both of them are really great. And obviously,
Mhm.
since we know we've had great interpretations, they had to bring him back.
Yeah.
And I know there's the whole villain panel that like Willem Dafoe was talking about, like, oh yeah, like I wanted to like actually do like a good story. And then Alfred Molina is like, oh no, I just did it for the money.
Yeah, which is also pretty respectable. Um, because they managed to do like really well with Alfred Molina. You like, I don't know if that's a joke or not, or if he liked the script. Oh no, he liked the. It says right there he liked the story before
Oh
signing
yeah, I
on. Yeah.
mean,
So
it was, I mean, it
no,
was a joke.
they did good stuff. Yeah, they did good stuff. So another fun fact about the Green Goblin is that I didn't even know this, but in Spider-Man 1, 2002, so when it's the Goblin, he takes out like a fake set of teeth. And when he's Norman, he puts it on, and that like shows like his gap tooth and like hides his gap tooth. So they do that to flip between the Goblin.
When he's the Green Goblin, he has the gap.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
they did that in this movie too, which is really cool. I like that little attention to detail that they kept going. But
yeah,
it was probably Willem Dafoe that wanted to do that,
maybe, but
because I feel
uh,
like that's something that he would do. That he would be like, guys, let me do this. This is my own little touch, you know. Like
maybe.
I feel like that's
Yeah, I don't know whose exactly idea it was, but yeah, the attention to detail there was amazing, because I wouldn't have noticed it
yeah.
either. But
No, no,
actually, I heard it from Harlan, if you remember, from
yeah, yeah.
our very first guest on the show, Harlan Duffy.
Fluffy
He's the one that
Fluffy Duffy
mentioned it.
guys.
Yeah, he's the one that mentioned it in one of his latest videos.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, he also said that he loved the movie just like us.
Yeah, so okay, I think that's good. Let's talk about spoilers. Okay, so Doctor Strange is like, "Yo, Peter, catch all the bad guys," and Peter does it in like 5 seconds flat, speed running that shit, speed
Yeah.
running. Which I was like, cool, cool. We're just breezing through the movie. That's awesome. Um, but what happens? Oh yeah, and then this is one thing I really like. So they talked about this shit in the trailer, right? Doctor Strange is like, dude, they're gonna die in their universe, and Peter's like, nah, I can save them, and he tries to save all of the villains, and I really like that because that reminds me of the PS4 game, and that just reminds me of something that Spider-Man would do. He would try to save his villains, even if they don't deserve saving, rather than just send them off to die. You know?
Said Peter, or it's just always been like very selfless.
Mhm.
And I mean, would you say that Tom's Spider-Man is the most selfless, like from the three, or not?
I would say in this movie, yeah, but I would say like in Far From Home, like I said, he fucking almost kills a classmate just because he was jealous of like that he was
Yeah,
talking to his crush, you know, like uh Toby's really selfless too. In the first movie, he's like he's like, nah, Mary Jane, I can't date you because that would put you in danger. And he does that for like most of Spider-Man 2. Um Andrew, yeah, I would say Andrew's pretty selfless too, but I don't know out of the three which one's the most selfless. I do think Toby Spider-Man doesn't really do much saving the villains from what I remember. Like
not
try
really.
like I think maybe the only one he tried to like really save is like Doc Ock and Green Goblin. Oh no, well, I guess he does like redeem Sandman. He forgives him. He tries to
Yeah,
save Topher Grace, but Topher Grace jumps into the fucking pumpkin bomb and
yeah,
kills
he
himself.
wants to die.
Yeah. Andrew, he tried to save Doc Connors. Um, he also tried helping Electro at the beginning. He was like, "Hey, we can just talk about it, whatever." But then the police officer shot Electro, and Electro got all mad. So I don't know. They all never mind. I guess all Spider-Man do a good job, but in this movie, it really feels like Tom Holland, like I said, now he's like, I'm Spider-Man. I save people. Even though he did it in Homecoming, I feel like they were like, yeah, this is definitely what Spider-Man would do. They like got the writing right.
For sure.
Yeah. So that leads to these scenes of like Tom just like working on cures for everybody. He's working on a cure for Electro. He's working on a cure for the Lizard. He's working on a cure for Goblin, and he even ends up curing Doc Ock of his like
Yeah,
inhibitor chip.
they had to move to Happy's apartment, and Happy has like a machine in there, which it's like a fabricator with a Stark reactor.
Yeah, it can basically build anything. I
Yeah,
guess.
anything. And with that, I mean, there is practically three scientists in the movie, and when Doc Ock obviously is a scientist, Green Goblin's a scientist. Tom is
Connors.
not, but he's really fun. I mean, not funny. I mean, smart.
He's smart. Yeah, Kurt Connors also one of them.
Yeah, but he's not in that scene where he's like.
Oh, right. He's in the fucking.
Yeah, I mean, Electro I don't think he's a scientist. He's more like an engineer.
Yeah,
but
I mean, no,
yeah.
he was pretty smart in the.
No, he's smart. He's just an engineer, not a scientist.
Yeah. So I mean, but either way, you got a room full of smart people. Before that, we forgot to say Doctor Strange and Tom get into a fight, and Tom ends up kicking Doctor Strange's ass.
Yeah, he did a really good job with that. I mean, the line was kind of corny. The like
what's better than magic?
Math. Yeah, no, it was kind of corny, but it was funny. I mean, it just shows like Peter is really intelligent. He's always been a smart kid.
Yeah.
And I really like when they show how smart he actually is. And this is definitely, I mean, he's been in an environment that he doesn't know, like with the mirror dimension. And like he did a good job in that.
Yeah, that's something I really liked, like about that scene and the scene where they're all working, like they're doing the cure, because you can really feel that he's smart, like he's Spider-Man. Even though he has like the Stark tech, whatever, like he's the one that's like doing everything.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, he definitely. I really, really, really like it when they show how smart he is.
Yeah,
and him working like at first. I know Electro's one of the main ones to say like, I don't really trust this. Like, I don't want to like be saved or whatever.
Yeah.
But they all kind of agree to go to Happy's apartment, which is super weird at first. But I was like, okay,
it's weird. I guess I don't know. I don't know how why they didn't just like. Oh well, it's because like if they don't agree, they just get sent back by Doctor Strange's box where they go die anyways.
Yeah.
So or die because it's not confirmed whether the Lizard dies or Sandman, because they're taken from different points of time, and they don't really talk about like who, like they don't confirm that everybody died. Like Doc Ock is like, hey Norman, you died. And Sandman is like, hey, Doc Ock, you also died. Both of you died. But then Kurt Connors asked, like, hey, Electro, do I die? And Electro's just like, whatever, I don't give a shit.
They just left him on scene when he asked that question. Because everyone, because Sandman was like, you died. And then then I remember Kurt Connors was like, did I die? And no one answered him.
Yeah, and I mean, the only one that would know would be Electro, but Electro's busy with other stuff. Sandman, he doesn't know that he would have survived that encounter with Toby, because Toby forgives him. And that's I guess that's a little not weird, but it does add to like why the villains are like they agree to go with Tom. Like they're like, okay, well, we don't want to die, we want to get saved. Because not all of them are bad guys. They're more victims of circumstance and trying to do the right thing, but ending up like fucking themselves over. The only one that's really kind of bad is Norman, but that's just because he was greedy.
Yeah, no, but I I think we kind of skipped over the fact like all the way like the villains were like kind of
Oh,
brought into the
yeah,
universe.
yeah.
Like because obviously the first one that we see is Doc
Is
Ock,
Doc Ock?
and
Yes.
that's the one we've seen in the trailer. I mean, we see like the whole they fight a little bit, and Tom, like he kind of like gained control
Yeah,
over Doc Ock's arms, which is
yeah,
actually really cool.
it's really smart. So Tom uses the nanomachines inside the Iron Spider armor to just control the arms, Doc Ock's arms, and he just like tells like pauses him. He's just like,
Yeah,
okay.
he likes with one of the arms like of Doc Ock, he
Mhm.
like wraps around him so he can't move.
Yeah.
And then like Peter just takes full control of all his arms, and then Doc Ock's like, "No, don't listen to him. Listen to me. Like, what are you doing?" And he's
Yeah.
all confused. And
So
obviously now he doesn't have a choice. Like he has to like
yeah, so
go with Peter.
so that's something that we saw in that second trailer where like Doc Ock, like it's the arm and then the nanomachines take over. Some people were thinking, I know we thought that maybe he got a hold of that technology.
Yeah, like he steals it.
Yeah, but in this case, it's just Tom taking over Doc Ock, which was the opposite.
Yeah.
And once Tom captures him, we
We
see the
see the
Green
Green Goblin
Goblin for like a
for a
split
second.
second.
Yeah.
He's on the glider. He's just like, yeah, and then it just disappears. Because
Yeah, if Doctor
Tom,
Strange, like
yeah,
portals him back to the Sanctum, which I thought was kind of confusing. Like, why would they show the Green Goblin for just a second and then like nothing happens?
I don't know. I guess I mean it is a little confusing, but I guess they just tried to like hurry it up because when you go back to the Sanctum, like Doctor Strange already has the lizard there. You don't see the lizard
Yeah,
like attack Tom or anything. He's just there in his cell. Um, and then Doctor Strange dumps exposition saying like all the villains crossed over. They're crossing over because, or all the
you Peter
people that
Parker.
know Peter Parker Spider-Man are crossing over. And um and yeah, Doctor Strange tells him to Scooby Doo that shit. And then he goes to fight Electro and Sandman.
Yeah, and we were wrong about the fact that Electro was gonna be blue when he was coming in, but it was just like the electricity like building. He was like getting his body back.
He was getting more electricity basically.
Yeah, but and then like he starts fighting Peter, and then
And then
the
Sandman
really
shows up.
cool, yeah, that really cool detail that the way that Sandman was introduced, he builds, he like Electro shoots a lightning, and then Sandman protects Peter.
Yeah, because
And
boy,
what?
if so, I guess Sandman did know that Spider-Man was good then.
No, yeah, like
Oh yeah. No,
he protected Peter,
yeah,
and he's like, "Hey, Peter, it's me."
yeah,
And then he says like, "Oh, I'm not your Peter," and then he's all confused.
oh yeah, I guess, yeah, my bad. That's why Sandman is like he ends up being a bad guy, kind of, because he just doesn't know the Peter. He thinks,
Yeah, no,
he's just
it's just
confused. He wants to get back to his
he
daughter.
he like they start fighting a little bit, but Salmon helps him
Mhm.
because obviously he was redeemed in Spider-Man 3.
Yeah.
So that's the way he came in. But then he took control, he captured Electro, and it was a really funny line from Jamie Foxx when he's completely naked.
Oh yeah, he's like, I'm butt ass naked.
Are we just not gonna address the fact that I'm butt ass naked?
Yeah.
And that was really funny. But after he captured it, Electro was like, I kind of like this, and he was gonna like shoot Peter again, but that's when Peter shoots him with the thing that Doctor Strange gave him to capture him.
Yeah, he's basically capturing them like Pokemon or something. Just like,
yeah, but that's when Sandman is like, what did you do with him? Did you kill him? And like,
yeah, that's when
like, I don't trust you.
That's when he starts getting confused. Yeah, he's not his Spider-Man. He's a different Spider-Man.
Yeah, he stops trusting him, and that's when Peter captures him.
Yeah.
So it was a pretty quick the way the villains were captured,
and
which was like kind of like I would have
it was really
more
fast.
action.
It was really fast, but I guess like it's to speed it up because I mean the movie's like already long.
Yeah.
They don't
Which,
want to.
By the way, it did not feel long at all.
No, it felt really fast, or like it didn't feel like slow at any point.
No,
Like
the
there was no,
pacing was
yeah,
perfect.
there's no point in the movie where I was like, oh my god, this scene is dragging too long.
Yeah.
Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, then Norman turns himself into Feast, which is where Aunt May works at now. She works at Feast. She doesn't work for the Salvation Army, like Far From Home. Um, and Norman just like, I'm lost. Oscorp doesn't exist. My son, he's gone. Which, by the way, kind of made me feel really sad for Norman, just being a victim of like multiple identities, especially one that's freaking psychotic. Um,
But also we didn't mention the whole picture of like the comparison where like Goblin throws away
oh yeah,
the
yeah,
or he
yeah.
breaks and throws away the
Yeah.
Goblin helmet, and it's like obviously we see the similarities. It was on purpose, obviously, but the similarities between like when Toby threw away the Spider-Man
Yeah.
costume,
It's
which
basically
was
when Goblin throws away his suit, his Raimi suit. Spoilers: he gets a more like comic accurate, I guess, suit later with like
mhm,
purple and green. But he throws away the original Raimi suit, and it's a shot that looks like the shot in Spider-Man 2 where Spider-Man Toby gives up being Spider-Man, which is a reference to Spider-Man No More, the comic cover, or the issue, or it was a drawing in the issue. I don't know if it's the cover. But yeah, that was really cool. And then he ends up turning himself into Feast, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And then that's when, and May is kind of like the one that's like also supporting Peter when Peter's like, I have to save them, or no, it's Aunt May the one that tells him like you have to help him, you know.
yeah, because like Anne May noticed that Norman's definitely
Was
not like
Yeah,
not right in the head.
he's lost, he's confused, he doesn't know what to do, like he needs help, and she wants Peter to help him, but
Yeah,
Peter's like, I can just send him back and that's it, not my problem. But Aunt May is like, oh, you mean it? What do you mean it's not your problem? Like, so
yeah. So that's when all the villains get together
yeah,
and
they're
with
at the
Peter.
apartment, like we said.
Yeah.
um
And
but
he's building the little like the microchip, or like the what's it called? What's the microchip?
the
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 thing.
the inhibitor chip.
Yeah, the inhibitor, the one that goes back in the back of Doc Ock's head.
Mhm,
He built it with the Green Goblin actually. Like he helped him, and like Green Goblin's like
mhm.
fascinating the technology that they have now.
Yeah, but I think that at that point, I think it's still Norman.
Yeah.
But later, when like I think Doc Ock and Norman are talking, he does like the Goblin voice, and everyone's like, "Whoa, what the hell's going
Yeah.
on?"
Yeah, it was a cool like turn of events
Yeah,
that happened there, because like
it.
we saw like the inhibitor chip that Tom built, like the Peter built,
Mhm.
it actually worked. He actually like he knocked out
Yeah,
Togok for a second, and then he
dude,
woke up and he was good. It
I
all
I
changed.
honestly thought that Doc Ock was gonna die because I know people said, oh, Doc Ock is gonna help Spider-Man because in the trailer Electro shoots lightning at Doc Ock. But I
Mhm.
really thought that was a misdirect and that Doc Ock was gonna die, and then all the villains were gonna be like, okay, you're trying to kill us like for real now. And I thought that's when they were gonna go crazy. But no,
Mhm.
Doc Ock, he's just like he's paused for a long time and then he gets back up and he's like, you did it. The
Saved me.
voices stopped.
Yeah, it was a cool, or like a nice
Mhm.
moment there.
And then right after that he does like a thing. He puts on a thing on Electro to drain like all the electricity from him. Well, not all the
Yeah,
electricity, but like
the energy.
the bad electricity. Because
Yeah,
obviously we have electricity inside of us. Guys.
yeah. He tries to save Electro, but in the moment also he's trying to save the other ones. He's trying to build
Mhm.
like a little
He's
things to
building
save him.
the Green Goblin formula
Yeah,
and then that's when like Spider-Man's spider sense just goes insane. Like it's such a cool scene also, by the way. It's just super tense.
like it just follows Peter's
it,
face.
it
Like
follows Peter and it's like like you don't know where the danger is coming from. I thought it was going to be like a bomb or something
Yeah.
else. And you think, oh, maybe it's going to be Electro because Electro's kind of been giving those vibes the whole movie that, he doesn't really want to do this. You think
Hmm.
maybe it's something else that's happening, somewhere else.
I thought it was gonna be the sixth villain
Oh, the
for
sixth
like,
villain, yeah.
which by the way,
There is no sixth villain.
there is no sixth villain.
Uh,
There is no Sinister Six. I don't know why,
they
but
went
I mean,
with the fearsome five, the furious five, whatever they
yeah,
want to
the
call it.
Furious Five,
Which is
which it's still cool. I
it's
mean,
cool, but I think it's a little bit weird. I mean,
you're right there. You could just add one more.
yeah, like it's weird, but I guess they were like, well, we can either bring back one of the two Harry Osborns, or we can bring in Topher Grace's Venom, or we can bring in Paul Giamatti as the Rhino. And I think they were like, nah, we don't
Or
really want to do that.
Mysterio.
Yeah, but like in terms of like like multiverse, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
but I would have. I mean, Mysterio would have been cool. I think maybe the cast was too big to bring in Jake Gyllenhaal. Like on top of that,
Maybe, I don't know, but I mean, it still worked out really well.
yeah, it worked out really
And
well.
that whole scene with the spider sense, and then that's when he senses, and then he sees the Green Goblin
He
like
he
actually turn.
he whips Green Goblin, get Green Goblin's hand, and he's like, "Dude, stop doing that shit."
Yeah, and that's when all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. What happens? Like Electro, like Green Goblin gives a speech basically saying that we don't need to be cured, stuff like that,
Hmm.
and then Electro takes off the thing that's like saving him, and he goes all crazy, and then Sandman follows him, and then the lizard breaks out, and he's like, "Poor Peter, I told you all your actions have consequences, crap like that." And then Norman just kicks the crap out of Tom Holland, and it's
Yeah.
crazy. It's awesome. They have a fight in the hallway. Norman kicks him through like fucking 7 floors. And meanwhile, Aunt May is running away with the cure for Green Goblin.
Yeah, she's like
And
running down the stairs.
yeah. And then fucking Green Goblin kills Aunt May. Spoilers. Um,
Yeah, it was a really touching scene.
yeah. So
For sure, I teared up. Like, I didn't cry, but I teared up
yeah.
because like it wasn't just that. It was the whole moment. It was so tense. Like, it was Aunt May,
Hmm.
Peter, and the Goblin, and they're all three of them. Just like
Yeah.
he's doing like his
Um,
evil speech, and then we see the glider coming in from the outside of the building. And I really thought he was gonna say the line from Spider-Man 1. He was gonna say
Godspeed.
God, yeah, Godspeed, Spider-Man. And then it just hits Aunt
It
May.
just clips Aunt May, and at first, like it happens so fast that
Yeah.
you think, oh, maybe nothing happened.
Yeah, you
But
don't see it like stab her or anything.
yeah,
It just like hits her.
but you kind of remember Spider-Man 1, and you're kind of like
She's gonna
how,
die.
like you're like, wait, how did she get stabbed? And so she's like laying there, and she's like talking to Peter. She tells Peter that,
And she
you know,
stands up.
oh yeah, she's standing up, which
She stands up, and
crazy.
which I was like, oh, I guess she's not gonna die.
Yeah, she ran over to him, and it's like she's fine. She's fine.
Yeah.
But they have a talk, and then eventually, like she starts, she falls down,
No,
and
but what did she say before she falls down?
well, I don't know exactly, dude. I only saw the movie,
No,
but
dude.
I
Remember
was gonna
she
say,
said the famous line.
I was gonna say that right now. Damn. But yeah, she's when she's dying, when she's injured, or before that. I don't know. I only saw the movie once. I don't remember. But she says, with great power, there must always come great responsibility, or there must almost, or what is it? No, there also comes great responsibility.
There
She says,
also comes responsibility.
yeah, she says the actual like comic accurate line.
Yeah.
And
Which every time they're like the family, or uncle or aunt, whatever, they
yeah,
say that, it always follows death.
yeah,
So
pretty much.
after she says
Uh,
that,
she
she
dies.
yeah, she just like collapses, and that's when she realizes that like she's bleeding out, but
Yeah,
they don't show from where. It just like out of nowhere, like Tom touches her like on the shoulder, and she's
yeah.
like bleeding, which I don't know. I guess because it's PG-13, they can't
Yeah,
show that much.
but also Tom doesn't really like apply pressure on the wound or anything. He just kind of like
Yeah,
lets it happen.
yeah. She
Um,
kind of just bleeds out, and I mean, yeah,
yeah.
the whole
Um,
performance there from Tom was very touching. Like,
yeah, I heard lots of people like being like doing the, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like when you're tearing up and you're like, you know, sniffling. My
yeah,
girlfriend was crying. Uh, so that's how you know a movie's good. If my girlfriend cries, it's a good movie.
yeah.
Um,
She definitely. It was such a sad moment for Tom because he
yeah, and
basically lost everyone
yeah,
almost.
and it's a good moment because I know a lot of us were thinking like, oh, Happy's gonna die, uh, you know, like Ned's gonna die, whatever. Um, I hate to say this, but I'm kind of not. Well, I'm not happy, but I think it was for the best that Aunt May died, just because I feel like thematically for this movie, it's like more. It's like the most impactful one besides like MJ. You know, and obviously I think people would be really mad if MJ died. But I think Aunt
Yeah.
May dying, Aunt May telling, like, you know, this version of Peter Parker that, you know, those words we're all familiar with, but now it has a different meaning because, you know, she died knowing that Peter Parker made the right choice. You know, it's not like the other movies where Uncle Ben died because Toby made the wrong choice, you know, to not be responsible. In this one, Tom Holland was responsible in trying to save those villains, but Aunt May still died anyways. So
It just sucks that
yeah,
Peter or yeah, Peter's family always has to go through that.
yeah,
I mean, he's basically lost his parents, he's lost his aunt and uncle, which I mean they never
yeah,
explained the uncle, but doesn't matter, he still lost him.
yeah. I wonder if this Peter Parker even has an Uncle Ben.
That's true. That they never really said anything. I
Yeah,
thought they would mention him maybe,
they
but
mention
no.
him in What If,
Yeah.
but
And what if?
that's, I mean, that was a different universe, but
Yeah.
it's the same one. I don't know, because you know what, I was thinking that they were gonna show like and at the end when Peter visits May's grave, I thought they were gonna show her grave next to Ben
Yeah, me
and
too.
just have that be it. I thought that would have been cool. But they
Yeah.
don't in this movie, so I'm kind of like left to wonder,
Maybe she
like
was just a single aunt.
maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
But what happens after Aunt May's death? Did you remember?
okay. So Peter's all emo. He's like all sad. He's like,
Yeah, he
uh,
goes to his favorite spot on the top of his school
yeah.
of the school.
J. Jonah Jameson is like, blah 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 blah. Villains running amok. Ended up with one person dead. It's all Peter Parker's fault. Dumbass Peter Parker. Haha. Bozo. Whatever. Um, but then meanwhile, MJ and Ned, they're at Ned's grandma's house. They're like worried about Peter. They're trying to call him, no answer. They're trying to hear back from him, nothing.
Mhm.
Um, and so Ned, who has Doctor
Doctor Strange's ring.
Strange's ring, yeah, he like
Yeah.
he's like he's like, let me see Peter. I want to see Peter. And like there's like a little spark, right? So MJ's like, okay, do it again. And Ned keeps on trying to do it. He's like, let me see Peter, let me see Peter. And then a portal opens, right? And we see somebody turn, a Spider-Man. We see somebody dressed up in the Spider-Man suit. He turns to look at the portal, and the portal goes away. And then we're like, whoa, what? And then Ned opens it again, and this Spider-Man just runs through the portal and jumps in. And holy crap, it's Andrew Garfield Spider-Man.
The
It's
crowd goes
the
crazy.
crowd goes crazy. I pee my pants. My girlfriend's like pees her pants too. Um,
Everyone was crying, screaming,
mhm,
crazy. It
mhm.
was the this is the theater experience that we talked about. It was just
Yeah,
insane. Like right now, I got goosebumps
yeah,
talking about
dude,
it.
I have goosebumps right now too.
Like
I just can't
that scene was so awesome.
I can't believe that they actually, you know, like did it. I
Yeah,
mean, there was rumors, there was leaks, of course, but
I always knew they were gonna come out. I always have
yeah,
faith.
and I had gotten it spoiled like the day of the movie, like on YouTube. Someone posted the ending, Um, and then when we went to go see the movie, it was like kind of like a late showing, like second to
Mm-hmm.
last showing of the night.
Mm-hmm.
So there was people that had gotten out of the theater already when I went to the restroom, and they were talking about it. And they were like, "Oh, dude!" When I saw Andrew, dude, I was like, "Oh my god, dude!" Like, and I was like, "God damn it!" Now I know for sure that Andrew's in the movie. But no,
Yeah, I for like honestly, I'm actually really happy that I didn't get spoiled. And
it
like, I mean, technically we did get spoiled because we knew that Toby and Andrew were gonna be in the
yeah,
movie, but like, it doesn't matter. Like
dude, you
the
just
theater
spoiled
experience.
that Toby's in it.
Damn it. Yeah, I mean, right after Andrew comes out.
Yeah, right after Andrew comes out, he has his own little like he has a scene interacting with them.
Yeah,
But Ned tries to, he's like, okay, let me see Peter, and out comes Toby Maguire, baby. He's
the
back.
goat, the
The
goat.
the OG. Yeah, and it's
That I think,
crazy,
like, people went crazy with for Andrew, but for Toby, that was
dude.
completely different.
Not gonna lie though, I think Andrew absolutely like stole the show. Also,
Yeah, for sure. Andrew
like
had a great performance.
like Willem Dafoe, Andrew, and like Tom Holland, like easily like the stars of this movie, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, and then like Toby and Alfred Molina, like right after them, like, but like no contest. I think Andrew and Willem and Tom were like the best,
Hmm.
and they were
Yeah,
probably like my favorite thing about this movie, if I'm being honest. Just like,
yeah. Honestly, it was amazing.
yeah,
That
um,
whole, like, I for sure, like, when Andrew came out, I screamed and I
mhm.
clapped and everything. But when
dude,
Toby came out,
dude,
dude,
wait,
I got up. I had to get up.
dude, we forgot about the spoiler at the beginning of the movie.
What?
Daredevil. We forgot about Daredevil.
Oh my God, that's so true.
Yeah. So at Peter's apartment, after the world finds out he's Spider-Man, after he runs back to Aunt May and Happy, um, they get a lawyer, and it turns out it's Daredevil. It's Charlie Cox. He's back.
Yeah,
He has a very small role, but it's still really good. Like
I
he
think
was
it's the very, very best, like, perfect introduction that they could have given to
yeah.
Daredevil.
It's like the quickest cameo, but like it's a really good one. I was really worried that they were just gonna have him like just like his face or whatever, like, and that's it. But no, he has like this like a small scene, and it's really good.
Yeah, and then they're talking about, like, Peter's like legal troubles and everything, and
Mhm.
then a fucking rock or a brick
Yeah, it's a
goes through the
brick.
window,
Yeah.
and it has like a message taped to it that said Mysterio was right. And then Daredevil catches it behind him, like, with one hand, but
Just like
I hadn't noticed that Tom Holland also went for, like, to catch it, but obviously Daredevil caught it first.
yeah,
And then that's when he said, like, Tom Holland's like, how did you do that? And he just, I'm a really good lawyer.
yeah, and that's awesome. That's perfect. I mean, when I saw that, I was like, holy crap! Like, I
Yeah,
didn't even notice it at first. Like his cane is the first thing you see, and
yeah,
everybody was like, everyone was like already like clapping and like whooping, and I was like, I didn't see because it happened so quick. And then
yeah,
and then I saw his face, and I was like, holy shit! Like that's the first moment where I was like, where I like clapped and I like yelled a little bit
yeah.
because,
I'm actually, like, in the process of rewatching Daredevil.
dude, me too. I started the first episode earlier today.
Well, I'm in the second season already. I actually never saw the
Okay,
third season,
yeah,
so
me
I'm
neither.
actually hyped to
You
see the
know,
third one.
yeah, me neither. I never saw the third season, but
Yeah,
I love that Daredevil show. Well, I love the first season.
yeah. The first season is really
And
great.
if you guys are watching Hawkeye, Kingpin is also back in the MCU.
Yeah,
So
all the goats are returning right now. All the
we
goats.
got Kingpin, we got Daredevil, we got Toby, we got Andrew, we got Willem Dafoe. All we need now is Hugh Jackman, which whoa,
Which is rumored to come out in Multiverse of Madness.
yeah, Multiverse of Madness.
And, like, literally 20 minutes before we started recording, I saw a message on Twitter that, I don't know if it's true, but apparently Deadpool is going to come out in the Multiverse of Madness.
That's cool. That would they are doing reshoots. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're like just trying to get a bunch of cameos, multiverse cameos, because that'd be really cool. I know some people might say that this movie is like too fan servicey, But I don't know. I disagree. I think the
No,
fan
no,
service is
no.
done really
I
well.
know. I know. The I had mentioned it before, but in another episode. But this TikToker that I really like, HD, and no, what's movies and talk, something like, I forgot the name, but anyways, he mentions that this movie really proved that you can do fan service, but like actually
No,
give
you
the characters that are coming back,
yeah, no,
uh
I agree
an actual
100%.
development.
I agree 100% because like I saw some people just say that like, oh, this movie's like too fan servicey to be enjoyed, but I disagree. Like I think the fan service really works.
Yeah.
Um
It's because it's not like
and
Toby and Andrew just
it
came back for 5 minutes, got their
yeah,
paycheck, and got out.
and it
You
ties
know?
into the plot too. Like Andrew and Toby are like as soon as they show up, they're present for like the rest of the movie pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which I
And
was really surprised. I thought they were just going to show up at the last fight and that's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
no,
no,
but they came out, they came back, and then they went with MJ and Ned
to the
to
roof.
the roof, and
Yeah.
that's when all three
And
Peters meet for the first
yeah,
time.
probably like another really touching scene. Just Toby, Andrew, and like trying to console Tom. Tom is like upset. He's angry.
Yeah,
He wants to kill the Green Goblin.
yeah, he says that you wouldn't understand what I'm going through, and
And
then
Andrew talks about Gwen Stacy and how he stopped pulling his punches.
yeah,
And that's scary, guys. If you guys don't know, Spider-Man, like he's super strong. He can fucking knock your
yeah,
head off if he wanted to. But he doesn't because he's a good guy. Now imagine killing his girlfriend. Imagine killing his girlfriend and like pretty much like just ruining his whole world. Like that man is gonna come after you. That man is not gonna stop, and that man is gonna kill you. You know what I mean? Like that's scary. But
yeah,
it's a really nice scene.
yeah. It's the whole scene that,
Like
he's talking about losing
mhm,
Aunt May, and then Toby talks about losing Uncle Ben, and that's when Andrew says that he lost
yeah.
Gwen. He said, when he says she was my MJ, dude, I fucking cried. Like, I
I
like, no
felt
shame, dude. No
no,
shame, dude. I cried like a baby, dude.
dude, I'm getting like goosebumps just talking about that scene because the
It was so
the
sad.
amount of development like that he got in this one scene, like just like like after his whole movies, after like that's what I
Hmm.
mean when Andrew like stole the show for me. Just like I love Toby, I love Tom, but after this movie, I was like, yo, like Andrew Garfield's a really good Spider-Man, like really, really good
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
It, yeah,
Um,
I cried so much, and it was I couldn't handle it.
dude,
Uh
yeah, and then
I just it was so much, because like, also, I know my girlfriend, like I mentioned before, that she loved
mhm.
Andrew, so that's when she also cried, so we cried together.
Yeah, but after this movie, my girlfriend really started to like really love Andrew Garfield. Like she cried in that scene. She cries. She didn't. She didn't cry, but like she got really like emotional with some of the later scenes, like when Andrew's like, "I love you guys. I always wanted brothers" and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
it was just really wholesome. Like it's really good to see Andrew again. Like you can tell that he's having a lot of fun, but he's still putting like
Hmm.
excuse me that emotion into it, and it's really good.
Yeah. And after they all, after they all cried
Yeah,
together.
and they talk about with great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah.
After Andrew says, that he couldn't pull his punches, Toby says that Flint Marco, he killed my uncle. Or no, a burglar killed my uncle, and I was vindictive. I wanted revenge, but then I realized that that's not, you know, what it should be about. So
Hmm.
they help Tom Holland not be angry anymore to do the right thing, send them home, save them,
Yeah.
but not kill them. As much as it hurts, as much as it's probably better for you to kill them. You
Hmm.
shouldn't. That's not who you are. That's not who we are as
Hmm.
Spider-Man. So that's a really good scene. I like that scene a lot.
Yeah. uh but after that, they finally go back to the high school classroom, the science classroom, and they're like coming up with different
Yeah.
things to save each of the other villains. I
Yeah.
mean, Doc Ock
So
was also already saved, but still, the other ones,
Andrew works on the cure for
Connors.
Connors. I think Toby works on Sandman probably,
Yeah.
and Tom works on Electro's thing. Or no, who does he work on?
Yeah, I think it's Electro's thing.
Yeah.
I'm not totally because we need to rewatch the movie.
Yeah, it's a cool scene. Everyone, you
Yeah.
get to see everyone being smart, like including Toby, which is something you didn't really see in the first movie. Like outside of the class, like
Mhm,
outside of the classroom, you don't really get to see him be, resourceful.
mhm.
Um, and it's
And
so funny. Andrew's like,
they kind of did the pointing meme.
yeah,
They
and
did it
then
twice.
yeah, and I found that scene funny because Andrew was like, "So, are you just gonna dress up like a cool youth pastor the whole time?" Like to Toby, and Toby just like kind of like lifts his shirt down, and you can see the suit.
Yeah, I remember everyone was still what cheered for that because
Mhm.
I was also thinking like, where's the suit?
Yeah, because Andrew comes in fully suited
Yeah.
already. Toby comes in looking like a youth pastor, like Andrew said, but he has a suit right under. That's classic
Yeah.
right
I
there.
also
That's
like I really like that they addressed uh that because like in there's a moment where like Tom says like, oh yeah, my web fluid, and like and he
oh
puts
yeah,
it
well,
on.
that's later when they actually start like the fight. But yeah,
No, no,
they.
no. That's in the science classroom.
Oh
He
really?
he says like he like Ned gives him like the web fluid, and then
Oh yeah,
that's
yeah,
when
yeah.
Toby's like, what is that for? And he's like, oh, I just put it in my like cartridges, and like, and then he that's when he shoots it. Then Toby's like, he just shoots like a random chair, and then
Oh
Andrew's
yeah,
like, how did you do that? That's disgusting. And then that's when they're
yeah.
like, that come out of you?
I forgot because I'm thinking of when they're talking later where
Yeah, that's when they
Andrew's like,
finally go to the final battle
yeah,
at
where
the
Andrew's
Empire
like,
State
so
Building.
so
I mean, not
like
Empire. The what's it called?
the
The
Statue of
statue.
Liberty.
Yeah, Statue of Liberty.
Yeah, it's because the other two Spider-Man, they're like, so how does that work? You ever get like web block? You get
Yeah, Andrew's like, do you make it? Like, how does it like? Do you make it inside of you?
Mhm.
And then
and
Toby's
Toby's like,
like,
I really don't want to talk about it.
yeah.
It's
And
it's funny. Like that's what I mean. Like the fan service is pretty good. Like they did pretty much the stuff that we wanted to see in this movie.
yeah, their chemistry was really great.
Mhm.
It was really funny because Toby was like kind of like hurt because he was like, "Are y'all teasing me?" And then Tom was like, "No, no, no! Like we're just curious, like because we can't do that."
And I felt so bad when Andrew was like, I'm the lamest Spider-Man. You guys have fought
Yeah,
aliens. I've never fought
yeah.
aliens.
That was so sweet.
Yeah,
Uh,
because then right after Toby's like, no, you're amazing. You're amazing. Okay. You're
and
amazing.
and then Andrew's like, "Oh yeah, I kind of needed to hear that. Thank you so much." Like
It's
he's
just
all shy. It's
it's
so
really
so
nice,
sweet.
dude. Oh man, I would love to see a TV show about like the three of them just like living in an apartment together in New York.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
That would be awesome. Like that whole their whole dynamic was so sweet.
Mhm.
And then they finally start fighting
It's
together,
like
but
you know what's
working.
funny? It's like Andrew Garfield says like I always wanted brothers, and you kind of feel like he is the middle child, like the one that
Yeah.
people kind of like overlook a lot. So it's just nice. It's just nice to see Andrew, getting respect from his older and younger brothers,
Hmm.
and seeing the fans all really, come together and love Andrew, and like
Yeah. And
it's good.
he
It's good.
tells Toby and Tom, I love you guys. And then they're
Mhm.
like, okay, thank you.
Like
They don't say it back. It's just funny.
Tom just kind of like goes like that, like he just nods and smiles. It's so good. It's so good, man.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, but that's when they start fighting
Yeah.
the villains, but they don't know how to work as a team.
Yeah, at first they don't know how to work as a team. They're getting their shits rocked.
Yeah,
They
they're
they
shooting
re
webs at each other by accident.
Yeah, one hits Toby in the face. He's like, gross. Or I don't know if it was Toby. Was it Toby or was it
I think Andrew shot him by accident in the face.
in the face? Right.
Yeah,
I feel like it should have been Toby shooting Andrew in the face because since his is organic, he could have been like, ew,
that's true, but
you
it
know.
still works. Yeah,
Yeah, it still works. It's so funny. But yeah, they end up regrouping, and they're like, none of us really know how to work as a team except Tom. Tom's like, guys, I don't mean to brag, but I've been in the Avengers, and Toby and Andrew are like, the
Toby.
Avengers. That's great. What is
What
that?
is that?
Because in their universe, there is no Avengers. And then Andrew's like,
I just love how Toby's so happy when he's
Mhm.
like for him, like that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Toby got to be really funny in this. I know people say, Toby's not funny in his movies, but he's pretty funny in this. He's good.
Yeah.
Um, but Andrew saying, "Are you in the band? Is that a band?"
That's yeah, it
I
was a
thought
really good dynamic
I thought that was
there.
really awesome. But yeah, then they so
It
Peter
was
one,
also
Peter
really
two, and Peter three.
yeah, it was really funny because like when he said like, "Oh, it's the Earth's mightiest heroes," and Toby's like, "How does that help us?"
Yeah,
Yeah, that's when they go Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3.
yeah. So Peter one, Peter two, and Peter three end up just like working together, listening to their spider sense or their tingle, as Tom Holland says, and they just take the villains off the board one by one. They start with the Sandman, work their way down to the Lizard, and then eventually, Electro gets cured too. But when the villains get cured, they have a nice interaction with like their respective Spider-Man. Like Toby's like, "Hey, Marco," like I forget what he says, but they have a nice moment, and then
Yeah, but actually, I don't know if you noticed
Electro
the
and
I don't know if you noticed that when Sandman was cured and like he went back to being human, they used the exact same footage from Spider-Man 3.
yeah, that's what I was talking to a friend on Twitter. That's what he said, that they reused the footage. And at first I was like, I just thought they got the actors and they were like they got them for like one day, like they did the
Hmm.
lines one day and then they were like, okay, let's just film this. But yeah, it's reused footage.
Yeah, it's reused footage for him and also for Connors.
Mm-hmm.
When Connor, but with like with him, it was the exact same footage, but like changed the background. But with Connors, when he turned back, it was B-roll footage and it's footage that they hadn't used.
Yeah.
Which yeah,
That that
the
ma-
lizard with
that makes
lizard he
sense.
did nothing.
That's why I thought that was a little weird. Like when they turned back and they're like, I thought that was a little weird. I thought
Yeah,
it looked a little goofy, but I get why.
yeah, it looked a little goofy, but yeah, I mean, lizard is pretty much a CGI punching bag in this
Yeah,
movie.
Lizard ain't do shit in this movie. Sandman don't do much shit in this movie either. He does more than the Lizard though. I think he gets more lines than the Lizard.
Hmm. For sure.
Probably it's probably because it's a Raimi villain instead of like you know what I mean. Like they're like people kind of
Yeah,
like the Sandman more than they like the Lizard and
yeah,
Electro.
for sure. I mean, the lizard is just a lizard,
Yeah, it's just fucking lizard brain. Um, but yeah, but then Electro gets cured and he's like, what does he say? He's like, he's
he gets the interaction
he gets
Andrew.
interaction with Andrew where he called Jamie Foxx, my bad, Electro, Max Dillon. He calls himself a nobody, and Andrew's like, "You're not a nobody, Max. Like, you're somebody. You're important." And Electro's
Yeah.
kind of like, whatever. Like, I knew you were cool, Spider-Man. Like, I thought you were a black guy.
I thought it would be a black Spider-Man,
Yeah.
which obviously is a hint to Miles
To
Morales,
Miles. Yeah.
which I thought they would introduce at least,
I
or at least
I
hint at it.
I thought they were gonna have I thought they were gonna go crazier with the multiverse and do like a bunch of more like cameos and stuff, but
Maybe.
I guess they're just saving that for Spider Verse 2 because
Yeah, the actual Spider-Verse
that one's
movie.
gonna be huge. I feel like that one's still gonna have that one's also gonna have Toby and Andrew maybe
They should.
and Tom. I feel like
They should have Toby and Andrew like their voices.
even for just like a second, like I
Yeah.
think it'd be really good.
Yeah, I'm really hyped for that movie.
Hmm. Hmm.
We still have to talk about it on our show
Yeah,
in the future. Maybe that episode's gonna be a
yeah,
little more special.
yeah. But then what happened? So then the last villain that's left is
The Green Goblin.
the Goblin, um, and I don't know. He kind of doesn't do anything. He just flies around. Um, oh no, before like all the villains get wiped out. He like MJ falls, right, and then Green Goblin just knocks Tom away. So Andrew's like, oh crap, she's falling. So he ends up saving her. And it's just really sweet because he starts to tear up because he couldn't catch Gwen. So it's his redemption, like, which is
Mhm.
what we were saying before. It's what a lot of people were saying before, but I'm really happy they did it. It was a really nice scene.
Yeah,
Um,
it was really touching. I think
yeah,
my girlfriend cried again in that scene.
yeah. I I remember being like, oh man, like I felt just super bad, like for
Yeah,
Andrew.
yeah,
Well, I felt good for him now that he caught somebody, but
yeah, for sure. And also the other dynamic that we didn't mention was with Toby with Doc Ock.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say that it's because that happens when they say goodbye. No,
No,
oh, it
that
doesn't. Oh, okay.
like it's when they're getting saved and everything, but and then uh Electro actually helps uh Tom, Peter, I mean Tom, Andrew and Peter and fucking and Toby and he takes off the Stark reactor from Electro,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
that's when he says the power of the sun, the famous quote.
In the palm of my hand.
Yeah, Toby
Yeah,
finishes the quote, and then that's when Doc Ock
yeah,
sees
yeah. I remember now.
Toby,
Yeah, he's
and
like,
then
Peter, my boy,
yeah,
you've
he's
you've
very
grown.
happy to see him.
He's like, you've grown up a lot, or something like that.
He's like, "How are you?" And he says the same quote that he says in Spider-Man 2, and he says, "Trying to do better,"
Yeah,
which very touching moment also
yeah,
there.
man. This movie, like, it's just gonna like I said, like if you love Spider-Man, especially when it comes to previous Spider-Man movies, like it's got everything in it. It's like the little bits here and there, and then the bits you didn't get to see, like what
Mhm.
happened to Andrew after his movies, what happened to Toby. Because in one point, Toby talks about MJ, saying they're still trying to work it out, and even though we don't like Raimi's MJ, it's still nice to see Toby, being happy, being older.
Mhm.
Um,
He says it's complicated, but they're working it out.
yeah,
And then that's what he kind of hints that like that Andrew shouldn't give up. And that I mean they kind of leave it off to your imagination that like he'll
yeah,
maybe meet the MJ like Shailene Woodley. The
yeah. But nah,
one that was never in the
nah,
movie.
whatever. Deleted scene. Get somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah, they kind of leave it up to your imagination that Andrew will definitely have his happy ending.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, it
but
was a whole
mhm.
good moment there.
But anyways, after that, Tom just kicks what's his face? Green Goblin's ass. Like they're fighting. The lighting finally changes. It looks like, to me, it reminded me a lot of the Sam Raimi movies, like very orange lighting. Um like especially like reminiscent of the posters. But yeah, they just go insane. Like there's one part where Peter's just like punching and punching and punching Norman's face, and Norman is just like laughing through it. He shows no like
Yeah, that's in
emotion
the
other.
in the first fight in the
Oh, that
building.
was in the first fight. My bad. Sorry guys. I only saw it once. I'm not lucky enough to have seen it like 5 times like a bunch of people have already. I really want to see it again, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, I definitely want to see it again too,
Mm.
for sure. I
But yeah.
mean, the whole end fight was epic, pretty
Mhm.
much. I mean, it was kind of short, but
Yeah.
it's still like Tom. You could see Tom definitely put his
Mhm.
heart and soul into the whole
and
movie in this
and
performance.
Willem Dafoe also, like he takes those punches. He delivers like on the crazy monologues that he has.
Yeah,
He's insane. Uh, a legend. Um,
yeah, he's the goat. They're
but
all goats.
but anyways, like that's what Norman's doing. Norman's kind of pushing him to kill him because he knows that I guess Spider-Man shouldn't really do that. Or like he's saying something like, I forget, man, but he's like, yeah, you really think I'm worth saving, blah blah blah, bullshit. And then Tom grabs the glider and he's like about to impale him, but Toby gets in the way, and it's kind of like that scene in Spider-Man 3. He's like holding it down like that.
Yeah, it's kind of the scene where he's like stopping, or Harry stops the glider
Hmm.
from Venom. But anyway, yeah, it was a cool
Hmm.
moment there. But then out of nowhere, Norman still stabs Toby in the back.
Where was the spider
And
sense, Toby? What the hell?
yeah, and it was. I mean, I kind of saw it coming because he just
Uh,
stood there.
yeah, me too. But like, I still gasps. I still
Yeah,
gasped
obviously.
when it
Yeah,
happened,
obviously.
and
And then everyone was like, "No!"
yeah, I thought Toby was gonna die,
Yeah,
which apparently that was the intention. Because I sent JP a TikTok. I don't know if you saw it, but apparently he was
he was
gonna
supposed to die.
he was supposed to die, but
Yeah,
then they were like, nah, no.
yeah. I think Kevin Feige, he's the one that said no, don't do it
Hmm.
because he might. I mean, we don't know for sure,
I
but they
I
have plans for
yeah,
Secret Wars,
yeah.
which, if you don't know, is a
Which
multiversal
that's
story.
that's what I've been saying, man. Like I want to see Secret Wars with like everybody. I want to see Hugh Jackman. I want to see the old Fantastic Four. I want to see everybody. Obviously not big roles, but just to see everybody like
Yeah, of course.
converge. Like I think that would be sick. And I also think he didn't die because there's rumors that he like Toby's gonna be in Multiverse of Madness also.
Maybe.
And it's being directed by Sam Raimi, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like look, Doctor Strange was in this movie. Toby was in this movie. Uh, I don't see how maybe a day of them filming, they were like, okay, let's take a little break. Let's film something for Multiverse of Madness, and then they just film
Yeah,
a quick cameo, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like
that could have been. I mean, I'm also hyped for Multiverse
t-
Manage.
totally realistic possibility.
Yeah,
But yeah, anyways, Toby doesn't die. Andrew, Toby, and Tom cure Norman, and Norman's like, did I stab you? Or what does he say? He says something like to Toby.
I don't remember.
Uh, and then Doctor Strange is like, all right, let's finish off the spell because everybody's leaking through. We see Rhino, we see Craven apparently.
Yeah,
I didn't
just
get
for
a
a couple
get
seconds.
I didn't get that good of a look at Craven, but I did see Rhino.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw Scorpion.
yeah, I didn't get to see Scorpion either. I don't know why. I guess I was trying to like my
Yeah,
eyes were trying to
I
focus
saw
on
like the
moving.
tail, the tail of the
Mhm.
Scorpion thing. But I mean, I thought it was a little bit underwhelming because I thought there was gonna be a little more,
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter. Like, they give us everything that we thought
yeah,
was gonna happen and more. They gave us
yeah,
more than we wanted. So I'm really happy the way that
yeah.
this ended.
And I love the way this movie ended because instead of Peter, the world forgetting that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, Peter Parker chooses to have the world forget that Peter Parker ever existed.
Hmm.
So I mean, that means MJ's gonna forget about Peter Parker. Ned's gonna forget about Peter Parker. The Avengers, the whole world are gonna forget about Peter Parker. They still know
Hmm.
Spider-Man, but they don't know Peter Parker. And it's really bittersweet, but to me, I feel like that's the perfect ending to this movie, knowing that, you know, this version of
Kind of a fresh
Spider-Man,
start.
yeah, but more so he did the possibly the most responsible thing you can do. And just, if you're trying to protect those people in your life, just make him forget, and have them move on with their lives. Let them go, let your girlfriend go to college, let your best friend go to college, make sure no one else gets in trouble for what you did. And I respect that. I respect that
Yeah.
decision they did like a lot. I love that ending. Um, and yeah, and then everybody says goodbye to each other. Like the Spider-Man say goodbye to each other. Tom says goodbye to Zendaya and Jacob before like their memories get wiped. And Doctor Strange says goodbye to Peter also. And it's really bittersweet, but I really I fuck with that ending a lot.
Yeah, I really thought like after that we see Peter get his own apartment. We see
Mhm.
he has like the thing from the PS4 game where he has like all the precinct
Oh yeah, he has like
like
a
the
crime.
yeah, the crime reports on the phone.
He doesn't have Stark Tech anymore, so he's like sewing his own costume,
Hmm.
and he's what else was it? Oh, since no one knows he's Peter Parker, he never like graduated from high school, So he's studying for the GED also, which was something that I thought was really like a nice touch also. But with the sewing machine, he makes his own suit, and holy crap, that suit is so awesome. Like,
I'm so upset that they didn't give us like 2 seconds of a good look at that suit, because we only see that suit for maybe 10 seconds max, but it's like swinging in action, and
yeah,
he's like going
but
somewhere.
but there's
But
tons of pictures on Twitter, like low res, and
yeah,
it looks really cool. Like, it's like obviously it's like a classic suit, so it's red and blue,
yeah,
but it kind of has like the spiders from like Toby and Andrew,
yeah. It,
like
it
the
was like
same
he was
style.
inspired.
Yeah, and it's so cool because that's so awesome. Like, just like how the way he was inspired by them, like their story of Peter Parker, he's also inspired by their Spider-Man also, like their suits and
Yeah,
whatever else.
it was really cool.
Mhm.
I really hope we get to see that suit so
I
soon, sooner
I
than rather than later.
I heard a rumor that's coming out on the PS5 version of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So if you only
I also
have the
heard a
PS4
theory.
one, so if you only have the PS4 one, sorry. Uh,
I heard a theory that Spider-Man might come out in the 6th episode of Hawkeye, because
ooh,
it ended at the same time as Hawkeye. So maybe we see that. It
oh,
would be really cool.
that'd be cool. I would love to see that suit. Like,
Yeah, because like in his apartment, he ends up actually moves it really close to like the famous Christmas tree in New York.
yeah.
And in the 6th episode of Hawkeye, in the trailers, we've seen like that they fight there. So
Mm,
it would be a really cool way to see also Spider-Man in a Hawkeye show out
that'd
of
be cool.
nowhere.
But yeah, this like I said before, like this kind of feels like a reboot, like a fresh start. Um, we know now that they made this due to like the deal with Disney and Sony.
Mm.
So even though Spider-Man's still in the MCU, he's gonna be in his own universe in like in Sony. So I feel like this is the way they had to do it. That way,
Yeah.
he can still be in both, have that fresh start. Not thanks to Tom Holland, he didn't get Spider-Man didn't get recast. This movie ended up being made, and mad props, because this movie's badass.
Yeah, the people involved, everyone involved in this movie, they all love the what we all love, the dedication that they put into making it. So like this goes to Tom, this goes to John Watts, to Kevin Feige working out with Sony,
Yeah.
everyone.
This goes to everybody. And even though they didn't say thank you to Sam Raimi and Mark Webb, huge thank you to them also. Huge
Mhm.
thank you to Toby and Andrew for being the Spider-Man of our childhoods and our teenage years. And a big thank you to
Mhm.
Tom to being the Spider-Man of our adult lives. And hopefully we don't have to wait like 10 years to see you again as Spider-Man. So yeah.
Well, good news that apparently that Kevin Feige is actively working with the writing, not him writing, but with the writers of Spider-Man 4,
Mhm.
Tom Holland Spider-Man 4. So we will see Tom Holland soon.
Oof, cool. Because I was kind of worried because I know like MCU has like they already have like tons of movies down the line.
Mhm.
So I was like kind of worried that maybe we wouldn't be seeing Spider-Man in a while. So
I mean, it might be like 3 years instead of 2 years wait, between sequels. But either way, the good news is that we will see Tom again, which is great. I love that. And
mhm.
Tom, honestly, at this moment, he might be the most perfect
I
Spider-Man.
yeah, I would say that, like I said before, he really feels like he went from being I hate to say it, but Iron like he feels like a different character at the beginning of this trilogy, and he feels like he ended up being Spider-Man. Like it feels like definitive, like this is Spider-Man,
Mhm.
and I'm super down for that. Like I'm so
Yeah,
excited to see
yeah,
what comes next, and
yeah. But talking about what comes next,
I want to see the Amazing Spider-Man 3. That's what I
yeah,
want to see.
I think everyone would want to see an Amazing Spider-Man 3 after this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, but after what comes next, before we go, because we already have a really long episode right now. This might
Yeah.
be the longest episode yet.
How long is it? Like 2 hours?
We are at an hour and 35 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, we're so sorry for making it long. But anyways, before we go,
it's a long movie.
We saw the cameo of Tom Hardy in
Oh yeah, I forgot.
in the mid-credit scene, which obviously pretty hype. I mean, we knew that Venom was going to come out because of the Venom that the Recarnage post-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really cool to actually see it in the MCU. But he came in and he came out so fast.
Mm-hmm. He did not do anything at all.
Yeah, and then he dropped a little bit of the symbiote.
Yeah, he dropped a little bit of goo, just a little bit.
Which basically confirms we will see the symbiote suit pretty soon.
Also, people were wondering why Venom crossed over, if because he crosses over and then he finds out that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. So
yeah, but it's because of the Venom.
Yeah, it's people
the Venom hybrid.
Yeah,
I mean the hybrid. What's it called?
The hive mind.
Yeah, the hive mind. There you go.
So if you were a little bit confused on that, it's because Venom
knows Peter, but from
the Raimi ones.
Yeah.
So that's why this Venom is able to cross over. Because subconsciously, I guess he remembers he encountered the Spider-Man in another dimension.
Yeah. So pretty hyped that we'll.
Yeah.
It's the confirmation that we'll see
symbiote Spider-Man at one point.
In the symbiote suit. Yeah.
And the after credits, the end credits. It's just a big trailer for Multiverse of Madness.
It's the trailer, which
it's a full-on trailer. Yeah, really hype. Yeah, I'm super
actually
excited to see that movie.
I'm actually waiting for them to drop it. I guess they'll probably wait like a week.
When does that movie come out? Like in
March, I think. I'm not totally sure. Maybe they delayed it. I'm not totally sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm really happy that with this movie. I think it's time to rate it.
I would give it like a 9 or a 10 out of I don't know what to say. What's something funny that happens in this movie?
I don't know. Butt ass naked Electros.
I would give it 9 out of 10 butt ass naked Electros.
Yeah. I'll give it a little more than that, but not it's I remember my girlfriend was like, "Why don't you give it a 10 out of 10?" But it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, but I'll give it a 9.5.
I said 9 or 10, but I think this movie's really good. Like, I still don't know if I like it more than Spider-Verse or Spider-Man 2, but for sure, top 3 Spider-Man movies: No Way Home, Spider-Man 2, and Spider-Verse, in no particular order. I love those 3 movies.
Definitely, this will be like a movie of our generation, pretty much. It's gonna be one that everyone will look back and be like, "Wow, I can't believe that this was actually real."
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Holy crap, this happened!" And I hope it doesn't affect the rest of the MCU that much, because I feel like going forward, some people might expect too much from other movies, and I'm afraid they won't deliver. So, for right now, this is such a good like treat for those who for us that wanted to see, like good multiverse stuff after Loki, and getting maybe like a little bit disappointed after like Black Widow and Shang-Chi and all that stuff, and Eternals didn't really deliver. This is like a good, like, here you go, guys. Here's your fucking 10-course meal with dessert on the side and a little cherry on top of another cherry. So yeah, it's good times. You'll have fun watching this movie.
Yeah, for sure. If you haven't seen the movie, I mean, you gotta go watch it now.
My voice hurts from talking too much. Oh my god. My throat hurts. I'm sorry, not my voice.
Okay, guys. So this is the longest episode that we've ever had, and I mean, it fits for the very best special occasion that we have
for the longest Spider-Man movie ever.
Yeah, but also because it's such a special movie for us.
Yeah.
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 But anyway, that's it. That's the end of the episode, guys.
Yeah.
We're so sorry that it was so long, but you guys know we love Spider-Man, so it's gonna be a long one anyways. But thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. You guys are so awesome. We recently reached 1,000 listens throughout YouTube and all the other platforms like Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So we really thank you for the support. We really appreciate it. Uh
Thank you, everybody. Thank
for
you.
the next thousands. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's to the next 10,000.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much.
Mm-hmm.
We will always appreciate the support.
We never said our names.
They know us.
Well, bye.